I now call the member for Durack.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Before I begin my speech, I just wanted to ensure that, just in case the member for Fremantle wasn't aware, that indeed there has been 16 new schools built in Western Australia since 2014. And of course, it's a well-known fact that West Australian teachers are the highest paid in the land. So I think the Barnett government is doing a sterling job in terms of educating the people of Western Australia. So if we turn to this ridiculous MPI,
Order.
Given that the Turnbull Government is spending more money on Australian schools than ever before, it really is an untruth, the substance of this MPI. It is an irrefutable fact that the Turnbull Government is spending more money on schools than at any other time during this nation's history. Mr Deputy Speaker, we are focused on ensuring our young people are equipped with the skills they need to go out into the global jobs market, a competitive, forever-changing jobs market, and win jobs on their own merit. The Turnbull Government is facilitating this through innovative programs that aim to encourage young people to access a changing jobs market and encourage well-rounded and employable young people to go on to higher education and skilled training, Deputy Speaker. We've introduced the Youth Jobs Path program designed to make young people who've finished their job training ready with internships and placements. This is part of a broad program from this government to properly fund our schools, fund our higher learning institutions, provide pathways for young people and get them job ready. Deputy Speaker, it's worth noting that we have fixed the shambolic vet fee help program initiated by those members opposite, which blew out to an incredible $2.9 billion, with student loan programs covered by the scheme increasing a whopping 792%. I bet that wasn't in the speaking notes for those opposite. We are decluttering the process for Indigenous Australians to access federal programs to help them attend university. And speaking of university, of course, the Turnbull Government is currently investing $16 billion in university funding. Mr Deputy Speaker, there has never been a government more committed to properly funding Australian schools. But it's not just about the billions of taxpayers' dollars that are flowing towards them. We're also switching the focus onto greater efficiency and achieving a greater bang for our buck. Despite what the member for Sydney has said and her other colleagues, we already have needs-based funding, with funds already flowing towards those schools that need it the most. The issue is that the funding model this government inherited for those opposite is broken and flawed, and we are not seeing the expected return on the investment that we should. We are changing the focus from raw funding to a focus on teacher quality. We are turning our focus to effective classrooms, and there's also a focus on effective curriculum. Regrettably, we've heard today in the media that we're lagging behind places like Kazakhstan and Slovenia in terms of science, technology, engineering and mathematics rates, and this is deeply disturbing, and we need to change the conversation around this issue towards a more constructive one, focusing on how best to spend the hard-earned taxpayer dollars, not necessarily increasing funding. And this is especially alarming for me, Deputy Speaker, as often in my electorate, many of the best jobs require a firm understanding of these subjects. Just last month, I visited the Geraldton Grammar School and opened their new STEM building, providing 4 general learning areas, 2 science laboratories, 2 staff areas, 2 offices and a storeroom. This will help equip the young people in Geraldton and the surrounding region with all important STEM skills needed as our economy transitions to a more innovative and mature skill-based economy. Deputy Speaker, those opposite introduced this matter of public importance, and I think we all know that it's blatantly a falsehood. How can we be underfunding schools if they are seeing more money than ever? Ask yourself that. By that logic, Mr Speaker, schools were also underfunded by those opposite. Yet what did they do about it? Where was their responsibility? Where was their accountability? This government is delivering a strong, holistic package aimed at providing support for schools and training right around this country. But most importantly, Mr Deputy Speaker, this government is delivering for regional and remote Australia and providing needs-based funding to the schools that need it most. And I'm particularly pleased to note that students in rural, regional and remote Australia have never had better access to higher education, something that those opposite didn't care about and did nothing about during those long, 6 dark years that they were running the show. But thanks to this government, we've invested another $152 million in the regional students' access to education package. This package will help kids from my electorate in the bush gain access to tertiary education, and thanks to us.